Hey beginner pole babes, so this is going to be a video on upright poses with the pole for a beginner level, so mainly working through seated and standing postures up on the pole. So my suggestion is to make sure that you've done the video. The beginner warm-up is good, so make sure that you're warm. We'll do a little bit of a warm-up here, but always make sure that your shoulders and your hips are nice and warm. And then also from there, I would also suggest to watch the climbing video. So really practice your basic climbs first. It's going to help with this one because we're going to be doing a lot of these poses from a basic climb. So that's going to be really important to continue building your climbing skills. All right, so let's do a little bit of a warm-up. Legs are wide. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, back down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, down. 2 more. And 1. Good. Take one arm up and over. Reach nice and long. And switch. Good. Bend your knees and up 10 times. Down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Step to the side. Your inside foot, so closest foot to the pole, comes forward. Step your outside leg back. From here, drive your back heel down towards the floor. Front leg is bent. Good, so stretching out the back of the leg from your calf all the way up to your hamstring. Now start to lean forward, push into the front leg, take that back leg up with you. Good, one more time, step it back. This time you can keep your heel up and reach up and over. Good, straighten out both legs, maybe step your back leg in and then come forward. Roll it back up, other side. Inside foot forward, step back, drive through your back heel. You can lightly tuck your hips under. So if your natural inclination is to have your back arched, then think of pushing through your ribcage, tuck under, and you'll feel a different sensation in the back of your leg. Good. Bend into that front knee, lean forward, and step it up. Hug your leg. And then step back. Good. Reach up and over. And then straighten out both legs. Come forward. Good. Let's come all the way up. And I think we're ready to go. So the first one that we're going to be doing is just our basic sit on the pole. So for this one, we're going to start it just from the floor, and then we'll try it from a climb as well. So your hands are going to come in front, just about head height, lift up onto the balls of your feet. One leg is going to come up, about hip height. Make sure your inner thigh is against the pole. Pull down, other leg comes up and over, and you sit. From here, you can walk your hands further down towards your chest and maybe lean out a little bit more. Pull it back in and then step your feet down. Let's try that doing the other side. So opposite leg goes up first, pull down. Make sure the pole's in between your thighs and maybe slide the arms down. Pull in and step off. Good. So now we're going to try and work on extending through the legs from your basic sit. So we call that just a long sit or extended sit. So come all the way up. One leg comes up, pull up and over, start to lean back, and now push through the legs. Keep the ankles crossed. Maybe take one arm up. Come back in, bend, and step down. Let's do that on the other side. Good. So with your basic sit, it's not going to feel so great at first. Really just think of keeping the legs crossed. That's the most important. And not thinking that you have to squeeze so tightly. It's mainly about keeping the cross of the legs and maintaining good posture. All right, so now we're going to go into our basic standing pose. So this is our standing crucifix. So if you've done the climbing video already, you'll have an idea of where this one is going to go. So let's start with our right leg in the back. You're going to pull down. Hips are going to come up to the pole. Other leg comes in front. From here, squeeze into the thighs. Think of pushing the feet away from you. One arm is going to lift off, and then the other. Come back, step down, and release both legs. So with your standing crucifix, think of slightly tucking your tailbone under so that you can keep your body against the pole. And then as you squeeze through the legs, try not to overbend them, but also make sure that your kneecaps aren't like beside or behind the pole. You want to still maintain a bend so that you're really using your inner thighs the most. Opposite leg up, pull down, come up, squeeze. One arm, two arm. Come back, step down, and release. So try that about one or two more times. All right, so now what we're going to do is put those two things together. So you're going to come up into your standing crucifix, replace the arms, and then take the legs into a sit. So, come up, arms out, come back, one leg and the other leg over. Feel free to add a reach or extend out the legs. Come back in, and all the way down. So continue to work on your climb up into a sit. And that the stronger that will get, then the more height that you'll get. You'll be able to climb up fairly high and bring your sit even a little bit higher. So let's try that again on both sides. So when you work through getting down, although it might seem like the move is done, that's it, really focus on maintaining good form and releasing the legs nice and slow. So maybe take a few more moments, go through that one again, and then we're going to keep going. All right, so now we're going to work into a standing crucifix, as well as, or standing thigh hold, sorry, and then as well as a side sit. So your standing thigh hold is very similar to the standing crucifix. Bottom leg goes behind, you climb up. This time, shoot your front leg forward. So it's important to keep that squeeze in your thighs. And as your foot comes forward, think of it slightly crossing over the body. Same thing, step down to release your legs. So your back leg climbs up, same as normal. Opposite leg comes up, and then arms go out. Think of it like a 45-degree angle from the floor, or from the pole. Same thing. Okay, let's do that again. So back leg comes up, come all the way up, reach the arms, and back down. Good, other side. Good. So that one's called your standing thigh hold because you're focusing mainly on the grip in between the thighs. So we're going to come into now the side sit. So this one is going to be taking a different hook. So your hook is inside your knee. So inside hook, try and get your knee a little bit higher than your hip. From here, hands are going to come both head height. Your arm that's across is just lower than your inside arm. From here, sink your hips back and down. So not just straight down, because that'll take your knee off the pole. Think about sitting them back and down, so like this back of your thigh is touching the pole. From here, your bottom leg is going to lift up. You're going to take your inside arm, wrap it around the pole, into your elbow pit, and reach for the outside of your leg. Step down to come all the way out. So I'm going to do that one facing the back as well. So hook your leg, hands head height, drop back and down, lift your front leg. Reach back arm, or inside arm, towards the front of that straight leg. Other arm comes out to the side. Good. So those are introducing new grips. So the grip in your elbow is not always the most comfortable at the beginning. So now I'll show a few ways to modify it or prep up towards it. The first thing you can do is just practice hooking your leg, dropping your hips down and back, and lift that other leg. Step it back down and come up. And then another thing that you can do, if that other leg is not coming fully straight, don't worry about it, it can still bend. And so you can think of almost crossing your ankles or doing a different variation of the same move. So you say hook, this leg can stay bent. When you reach for it, think of maybe reaching outside your knee or even outside of the calf. The ankles can cross and you can help to hook, and then the arm can still come out to the side. Either way, it is a fair amount of pressure on your elbow, so don't worry about taking your other arm off until it feels comfortable. Maintain a good squeeze in the leg that's hooking on the pole. All right, so let's do it a few more times. All right, great work. So the last one that we're going to do today is starting to work towards what's called a layback, which is a sit that you tilt all the way back and eventually you end up in an inversion. So anything that's an inversion is where your shoulders and your head are below your hips. So we're not going to do the full thing today, but I'm going to start to work on the positioning of the legs. And this move is called Stargazer. So it comes from your standing thigh hold. Then you bend the leg, reach for your ankle, and then sit back into your knee. So now your knee is hooked around the pole and you're pressing through your bottom leg. You can take one arm off, come back, and release it down. So let's try that again. Come into your standing thigh hold. Bend at your knee, reach for the ankle. Start to sit back into that knee pit. And then just try and find a little bit of pressure. Don't have to take off the top arm if you don't want. And then release and step back down. So the goal is to have your bottom leg against the pole and your top leg is hooked and you're trying to pull the pole into your knee. Let's do that again. Come up. Now bend right away. Find that knee pit, sink it back. Come back up and step down. So Stargazer is a good prep for your layback. Layback takes your bottom leg that's on the pole, brings it all the way up, and tilts your body all the way back. So watch out for part 2 of any tricks on the pole that are seated and still somewhat upright, moving into more inverted poses coming from either a seated or upright position. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure that you have some water and also do a little cool down, stretching out through your shoulders and your hips. I'll see you again soon.